Hi, my name's Lydia and this is Helen, and we are part of the York Disability Rights Forum, and we're in this video going to tell you about the Disability Forum and what it is that we're up to and how you can join us.
York Disability Rights Forum is an organisation that's there to amplify the voice of York's disability community, essentially. We're here for people with all kinds of disabilities. We're not specific in terms of what disability people have to join us. We focus on what our members tell us is important to them. So from 2020 to 2021, our primary focus has involved things like the foot streets issue in the city centre, public transport, and attitudes and awareness of disability in the city. We were formed as a result of York Independent Living closing down. When they closed down, they left some of their remaining funds. They gave them to the York Human Rights City, with the stipulation that they would be used to see if it was feasible to have a group such as York Disability Rights Forum. And so we started meeting online fairly early into the pandemic, about April 2020. And we're starting to sort of get an identity, get a feel for who we are, what we wanted to do. And then the issue around the foot streets cropped up in June, July of 2020, and we felt it was such an important issue that we really had to start speaking up and speaking out about it. So we started attending council meetings and making statements and getting kind of more attention on the issue. So we went from very much a very small fledgling organisation who was just starting to work out what we wanted to do, to suddenly speaking at fairly major meetings about something that was really important to York's disability community. We hear all the time from different people across the city about particular issues and how that's affecting them. And sometimes we're able to advise because now we've built up an array of knowledge about different ways of going about things and who to get in touch with to get support. And we're always aiming to amplify those messages. Essentially, when we're talking, we are talking on behalf of all those people who've contacted us in the different ways.
I'm quite new to having an identity as a disabled person. It's probably mostly solidified in the pandemic when I got my letter saying I was clinically extremely vulnerable, and it just made me sort of re-evaluate my own identity and come to terms with my illnesses as disabilities in the way that they affect my day-to-day living. And it was shortly after that that my friend told me about the forum and put me in touch with them, and sort of from then on I became part of the steering group, and being on the steering group has given me all sorts of confidence and abilities to speak to people about my disability journey in a way that is helpful to them as well.
When I was sort of becoming more and more disabled, I had a lot of difficulty with my employer, with trying to get a wheelchair, with accessible housing and the benefit system. But I was working in an area that meant I had a lot of knowledge about those systems, and I found it really, really difficult to go through that, and I knew where to turn for support. So I became much more aware of how difficult it would be to approach any of those issues if you hadn't got the knowledge that I did. So that really, really prompted me to get involved with the forum and to speak out and to be able to change some of those systems, but also put that knowledge out there for disabled people in York, so that they wouldn't necessarily have the same battles that I did, or even at least not feel so alone when they're having them. I've also always felt it's really important to speak up and speak out about things that affect disabled people. I'm able to. Some people can't, whether it's their kind of current situation, their confidence. And I think because I can, I should. And I also think it's really important that people see disabled people campaigning and advocating for disability rights. It's a much more empowering vision of disability than a lot of the media portrayals, and I think it's important to challenge that. For me, I think it's really powerful to have a space where disabled people are the majority. We don't all have the same experiences in the forum or in the steering group, but we all have a sense of what it's like to be treated differently because of a disability, and we all have the experience of living as disabled people in York. I'm hoping as we grow, we can start to empower more and more people. We can run disabled person-led training on disability, and that we can keep challenging those myths and assumptions that are out there about what disabled people can and can't do.
I think for me there's a few places in my life at the moment where I feel like I've found my people, and the forum definitely feels like one of those places, and the support that I've received from other steering group members and members of the forum as well has just been amazing in the last few months, and I'm hoping that we can reach out to more people and share with them the message that they're not alone and that there is support out there, and that we can work together to create positive change in the city of York.
Yeah, seeing other disabled people doing some of these things and standing up for disability rights, I think is really powerful. I think it's really important that anyone getting in touch knows that you will be getting in touch with someone from the steering group. We're a lovely, friendly, welcoming bunch of people, and there's no question that would be a stupid question. We're here, we're happy to answer anything and support people to get involved in whichever way is best for them.